Hello everybody, my name is Michelle and welcome to The Weight of Things. If you are new here, please make sure that you subscribe and click the bell button below so that you can get notifications of every time I post a new video. So again, what we're going to be talking about today is New Year resolutions. Now, the number one reason why people actually fail at New Year's resolutions is because of the fact that we sometimes, number one, make unrealistic resolutions, and number two, we never take time to reevaluate those resolutions. So sometimes we will make, and I don't like to use the word resolution, so let's just use goals. A lot of times we will make certain goals in our lives, like, oh, I'm going to work out 6 days of the week, every single week. And then something happens where that's no longer possible because of something that happens in your life, your work, or whatever the case is. Something makes that no longer possible. But instead of reevaluating and saying to ourselves that, you know what, 6 days a week is no longer possible because of this situation that happened in my life. So now I need to readjust based on that situation and change it to this amount of times or whatever the adjustment may need to be. However, what we do is we hold on to that resolution, that goal. And when we are no longer able to fulfill that goal, that's when the goal just goes out the window, as well as all of our other resolutions and goals and plans for the year. But if we were to be more realistic about our goals and choose things that are not only attainable, but also take times throughout the year to reevaluate and see, well, what were the goals that we made throughout the year and how did they play out in my life today? Like, obviously maybe something that you planned that you wanted to do for January 1st, come maybe March, April, things may have changed. How could I reevaluate this, tweak this goal a little bit so that it still fits into my life today? So I think that is the number one reason why goals and resolutions, as people like to call them, for a new year, a new month, a new week, why they never actually pan out. So if we can actually just continue to be a work in progress and continue to tell ourselves that we are working towards this goal, that we are going to have to reevaluate at other times, tweak it, change it a little bit, that it fits with our life as is at that moment, I feel like we will be more successful in those goals. And one of the main goals I think that people try to make during a new year, a new month, or a new season in their life is just being more productive and more organized. And I feel like the two go hand in hand, because in order to be productive, you kind of need to have a little bit of organization, and like, I am not a totally organized person, I can tell you right off the bat, but I am kind of like one of those people that are like disorderly organized. It may look unorganized and put together to other people, but I understand the flow of what I'm doing. However, I've come to realize that does not always work. And as I've gotten older, I started to realize that the importance pretty much of being more organized. So that is what we are going to be talking about today, moving into the new year, how we can be more productive and more organized. So the number one tip that I would give into being more productive and more organized is schedule. Okay. I can't tell you how important having schedules are for my life. I never was a type of person that liked to follow schedules or even wanted anything to do with schedules. I just was kind of like, on the whim of things kind of person, just whatever I'm feeling like at that moment in time. And I still kind of am like that. But however, one thing that I have found is that when I don't have a schedule, I'm kind of like all over the place. Like, I don't really know what's going on, what I should be doing at that moment in time. And so I'd like to say that although I follow schedules, I am not 100% like strict on them. So I follow a schedule. However, if I see on my schedule that I may need to be doing something else at the time, and for whatever reason I decide I'm not doing that, I don't like get down on myself because I am off of my schedule. However, if there's a moment in time that I'm like, okay, well, what should I be doing right now? I have my schedule to go back to. Like, what is actually priority right now? I can actually go to my schedule and see what I should be doing. However, again, as I stated, going as a person that doesn't like schedules, I just find that having an actual schedule helps to keep me accountable and helps to keep me organized and helps to make sure that I am productive. Because as I said, sometimes I'm like, well, like I know I have like 100 things that I should be doing right now, but which one should I be doing? And then on top of it, I may spend way too much time on a particular task. And that having a schedule is completely helpful, because when I never know how much time I should be spending on that task, I can kind of look at my schedule and know that, okay, I have an hour for this or 15 minutes for that, or what I should be doing at that time and period. So basically what I have created is, this is my organization binder. I hope you guys can see it well. And so in here, I'm just going to show you guys some of the schedules that I've made. So this is one of my schedules. I don't really follow this one as much, but if you guys can see, basically I had the times over here on the side. I have the days of the week at the top, and this is called actually a block schedule. So it's not like pretty much like 15-minute increments or half an hour increments. I found that was too hard to follow, but this is what they call a block schedule. So what it does is it has a time period. I don't know if you can see right there. It's 5:45 to 7 o'clock. And in that time period, I have a list of things that fit in that time period. And so I have different blocks. And in those blocks, I have lists of things that fit into that block schedule time. So for example, if I have here, prepare for the week on a Sunday between 10:30 and 12:30, and I've already done that, but I have a list of other things, I can just move on to those other things, rather than if I had like an increment schedule where I would say, oh, okay, well, I have this whole hour to be doing this. Well, what am I going to do now? It's like I have a list of things that fit into that block, and I just know that that is the time period that I have specified where all those things kind of need to fit in. I think another thing that kind of goes along with that is having a to-do list. Like sometimes you have your schedule, you know what things you have scheduled for the day, but there may be a different day that you have something specific that you need to do, something specific for an appointment coming up that you need to prepare for. So I like to have a to-do list. And on this to-do list, I basically list out the tasks that need to be done for that specific day. And then I look on my block schedule and see where they would fit in. And one of my favorite things to have in order to be able to help me with my scheduling and my to-do list is this book right here. It's called The Daily Planner, and it's by a lady by the name of Sue Hooley or Hooley. I actually got this off of Amazon. I think it's fantastic. It's actually a homemaker's friend. That's what it's called. And this is the 2019 version. She actually has one for 2020, which I haven't yet ordered. And I'll have the link down in the description box where you can actually get the 2021. I really love this planner because it has a lot of great things in it. First of all, it has like, on each week, it has like your task list where you can list all the tasks that you have to do for that particular day, as well as it has like a yearly planner and monthly goals. I think that this is awesome. That would be my daughter's writing on there. Sorry about that. As well as weekly goals. So every week you can write your weekly goals on there. And then it has your task list. This was mine from back in July, where I wrote, these are my daily pretty much to-do list of things that I knew I needed to get done for the day. And then you have your projects tabs, where any special projects that you have going on, you can write them in there. And my most favorite part of this book altogether is the shopping list tab. Like, I find this so completely helpful. These tabs can like actually literally just tear off for you to bring with you, your shopping list tab. So it's just a clean, right where you can put your shopping list, and then when you go shopping, you have this with you in your purse, so you don't have to bring your entire book. So I really love that about this this daily planner, and I find that it really helps me to keep organized. I put my to-do list in there, and then I look at my schedule and figure out where I'm going to fit all of the things that I need to get done in. My next tip is to make a meal plan, and here is an example. One meal plan that I used to follow before. So as you can see here, the days of the week is on the side. Then I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I would list all the different things that I'm going to be making for those days and those different meals. And the next thing that is on my list of how to help to get more organized is making a grocery list. And as I said, this kind of, I feel like, goes hand in hand with having a meal plan. Basically, you can look at your meal plan and you create your grocery list from the meal plan. And I feel like this is an ingenious way to, number one, save money. Because I find when we don't know what we're going to be making, we can tend to go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of random stuff that we actually won't even use for that week. But when we know what exactly our plans are that we're going to be making, we can go through and make sure that we have every ingredient for that, because there is nothing that is more annoying than going to make a meal and going into the fridge or going to cupboard and realizing that you don't have one ingredient that you need for it. So this is an ingenious way to, number one, you save money because you're not going and buying random stuff that you might even not need for that week. Number two, you're saving yourself a lot of time and a lot of worry about not having, the ingredients that you're going to need for each meal. So I think that this is such a helpful tool to have a meal plan and also to make your grocery list from that meal plan. A way to help us to be more productive and to be more organized is to make sure that before we go to bed, as hard as it may be, that our living space is clean. Our kitchen is clean, our living room is clean, because there's nothing worse than waking up in the morning and having a sink full of dishes or a living room that's a disaster, because the first thing you're going to be thinking about when you get up is wanting to go and clean and organize the stuff from the day before. And so now you've actually prolonged yourself, in what you should be actually getting done for that day, because now you're busy worrying about yesterday's mess today. And so I feel like it's so hard sometimes, because sometimes I'm so tired that night that I'm like, honestly, screw the dishes, screw everything, I'm going to my bed. But then when I wake up in the morning, I regret it. I regret it so much, because now I'm stuck cleaning up yesterday's mess. And so as tired as I am, I really try to get everything clean so that when I wake up the next morning, everything is organized, everything is clean, and I can start a fresh day on a clean slate in a clean house and not have to worry about yesterday's mess and trying to clean it up. So that is definitely a tip for trying to be more productive, because I feel like when we have a clean space, just like being more organized, when we have a clean space and we're more organized, we tend to be more productive. That leads me to my next tip, which is to wake up early in the morning. This is something that's very hard for me, just let it be known. I am not a morning person, so waking up early is not my cup of tea. However, when I've had to wake up early to do something or go somewhere, I find I feel so much better throughout the day. Like, for example, when I wake up at 5 a.m., I find that at 10 o'clock, I feel so like I've been up for the last 4 hours. I look back at what I've accomplished in that time and thinking to myself, like, typically I'm like almost just getting up right now, and I've accomplished half of my day already. The day is so much longer when you wake up early. I feel like you might not like it in the beginning when you just get up, but once you do get up and you have a shower, you start moving around, and you get up and you pray and you mentally prepare yourself and you do all these things that you need to do, I feel like you start to feel better throughout the day. And, as I said, I feel like when you get up early in the morning, you will feel more like, that you can accomplish more things, and you will feel more productive, more energized to do certain things. And my next tip kind of goes with that one. They're very important to work together. That if you're going to be waking up early in the morning, you need to be going to your bed a little bit earlier, because you need that rest in order that you can feel more energized and ready for the next day. You definitely need to be getting your beauty sleep. My next tip kind of piggybacks off of that one as well, where is to try to mentally prepare yourself the night before for the next day. Now, the Bible tells us that tomorrow's not promised to anybody, but in faith, we prepare ourselves for the next day, praying that we will get to see the next morning. We should prepare ourselves, because I find that when I have like an appointment or something that I know I have to do the next day, I don't know about you, but I find that like even before my alarm goes off, I'm up. And it's because the night before I was already thinking about, okay, I got to go to this appointment, I got to do this thing, I got to whatever. And so my mind is already in the space of, okay, I need to do all these things. So waking up in the morning is a lot easier. As I said, before my alarm even goes up, I'm up and I'm like, whatever. So I feel like making sure that we are kind of mentally preparing ourselves that, tomorrow is going to be a new day, Lord willing, and I'm going to get up and I'm going to start the day off fresh, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and kind of trying to anticipate the next day. I feel like it can help us to really feel motivated the next day, and help us even to be able to get up and, to know that we're anticipating, excited, whatever words you want to use to do the things that we know we need. And my last tip about how we can be more productive and more organized going into this new year is to work out. As I told you, this channel is going to be partially also about my journey that I am on, that I've been on, about, health, consciousness, and weight loss. And regardless of whether you're trying to lose weight or not, science has proven how important it is to be exercising, to have physical activity in our lives. It doesn't need to be an hour-long session. It doesn't need to be in a gym. But when we wake up in the morning, especially, they talk about how, working out in the morning, how it actually helps you have more energy through the day, which in our own mind doesn't really make sense, but it's actually true. So I feel like when we get up and we work out, we are moving our bodies and stuff like that. And I feel like that can really help us to feel more productive and more energized for the day. Like, I know that a lot of times, like in this weight loss journey, I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like working out, and I drag myself and I go, and like, it just feels like torture. And when I get there and I start working out, I'm like, yeah, this is like, this is actually not too bad. And by the end, I'm like, I'm ready to do a whole other workout session. I'm ready to take on the world. I want to clean this whole house. I want to do everything. Like, I feel so much more energized than I did when I was dragging myself to go there. So as much as it doesn't make sense to our mind, working out does actually help to make you feel more energized and more productive. And it's definitely a great tool to kind of get you started for, whatever tasks you have ahead. So those are my tips for how we can be more productive and more organized going into the new year. I hope that this helps and that it works for you. Let me know in the comments if you have any other tips that I didn't mention that you have found work to help you be more productive and organized, because trust me, I would like to know. And don't forget, as I mentioned, that if you're new to this channel, to subscribe, click the bell at the bottom so you can be notified when I make new videos. Thanks.